Hello, Farah. Where is the full paper?
So full paper is a thesis one. So that is there, sir. I'm sending you again. Or some mind society you want?
Mind and society now. This. Okay, I got it.
Got it, no, sir? Huh.
Pro-environmental attitude.
Huh. Yes, sir. Full. That is full paper.
চেয়ারটা একটু শুকনো শুকনো, তোমাকে তার সাথে ডাল লাগবে? ডাল লাগবে?
Is it visible now? শ্যামাশ্রী দেখতে পাচ্ছ এটা?
হ্যাঁ স্যার, ভিজিবল।
হ্যাঁ, এইভাবেই জিনিসটা তোমাদেরও করতে হবে। হ্যাঁ, প্রজেক্টিভ ভাবে বানাতে। আজকে today's topic basically the environmental psychology. So this is my project in ISI. I am sharing that one. So this is the contents, acknowledgement, executive summary, introduction, environmental psychology, attitude, behavior, pro-environmental attitude, pro-environmental behavior. So today we will learn about the environmental psychology as well as the pro-environmental attitude and behavior. And we learn something about the how can we study the pro-environmental attitude and pro-environmental behavior. So environmental psychology emerged as a subdiscipline of psychological science. This field defines the term environment broadly, encompassing natural environment, social settings, built environment, learning environments, and informational environments. It is an interdisciplinary field that focuses on the interplay between individuals and their surroundings. It covers all aspects of human behavior and mental life in relation to the biophysical environment, whether considered as ambient environmental factors like noise, temperature, lighting, specific behavior settings like schools, office, hospitals, the basic infrastructure of everyday life, that is energy and transportation system, or in a broader sense with regard to landscape and the relationship between built and natural aspects of human environments. So we have understood what is called the environment, the types of environment, as well as the focused area of psychology in studying the environment. Mainly the pro-environmental attitude and the pro-environmental behavior. So before learning the pro-environmental attitude, we have to know the attitudes, how it is developed. Attitudes, attitudes that are formed as a result of individuals' perceptions and prepares the ground for their behavior, are the positive and negative emotions that are organized based on any subject, concept, object, phenomenon, or event, motivation, and information related to that subject. Eigen and Fishbein state that attitudes consist of four elements, that is, action, goal oriented action, action oriented content, and time. Throughout the history of psychology, the notion of attitude has played an essential role in the explanation of behavior. Attitude research has been popular beginning in the 1900s. One of the main reasons for this, described by Wicker, is that theorists have believed and have seen a real connection between attitudes and behavior. Gordon Allport in 1935, an early pioneer in attitude research, characterized the concept of attitude as distinctive and indispensable to the social psychology. Now I am going to the what is called environmental attitude. R10 2005 defines environmental attitude as individuals' emotion such as fear, anxiety, anger caused by environmental problems, their value judgments about the environment, and their attitudes and thoughts that can be positive or negative, such as taking part in solving environmental problems. In this regard, attitudes toward the environment directly affect the perspectives and preferences of individuals regarding environmental events. Environmental attitudes can also be defined as concern for the environment or caring about environmental issues, sometimes referred to as pro-environmental attitude. Pro-environmental attitudes has been defined by Giffords and Schussman 2012 as the consideration and concern displayed by an individual towards the natural environment and involves them caring about issues and plaguing the environment. Now I am going to the pro-environmental attitude. Since attitudes in a general sense can be gained more easily in childhood, environmental education studies should start at an early age. Dewey in 1996 states that education given at early ages is very important for building awareness, creating desired behavior, and enhancing positive attitudes towards the environment. Now, Guven 2013 emphasizes that individuals with a positive environmental attitude exhibit positive behavior towards the environment, and that determining the level of attitudes of individuals towards the environment and environmental problems and taking necessary measures in line with results are of great importance in terms of eliminating and preventing environmental problems. Individuals with negative attitude towards the environment do not react to environmental problems and even can become a part of the problems. Therefore, it is very valuable for individuals of all ages, gender, professions, and socioeconomic background to have a positive environmental attitude. এখানে আমরা positive environmental attitude and the negative environmental attitude, these two things we are discussing. Next is the pro-environmental behavior. The most important reason for studying pro-environmental attitude is that they may determine pro-environmental behavior. Pro-environmental behavior is a set of behaviors practiced by individuals that seek to take measured actions to promote positive changes in the environment and limit the effects of human intelligence. In promoting pro-environmental behavior,
Sir,
colleges, universities and training. হ্যাঁ শ্যামাশ্রী কিছু বলছো?
হ্যাঁ স্যার, এফেক্টস অফ হিউম্যান ইন্টেলিজেন্স নয়, এফেক্টস অফ হিউম্যান নেগলিজেন্স।
কোথায় বলো তো, পড়ে গেলাম। ও হিউম্যান নেগলিজেন্স। হ্যাঁ, in promoting pro-environmental behavior, colleges, universities and training centers play an essential role. Since individual behavioral change can be easily fostered among young generations. Additionally, in the context of education, organizations are interested in having pro-environmental attitudes. Pro-environmental shifts due to their sustainability goals and implications towards the student enrollment. Pro-environmental behavior includes recycling. That means reusing paper, plastic, glass, container. Conserving water means limiting the use of water when taking a shower or washing hands. Saving electricity, that is the turning of light when not needed. Reusing, for example, disposable cups. Using public transportations or riding bikes or even walking. Properly disposing of non-recyclable waste. Using less paper when printing and buying and or consuming green products. So these are the domains of environmental behavior. So I have identified 8 pro-environmental attitudes, like recycling. It is the recovery and reprocessing of waste materials for use in new products. It involves the collection of used and discarded materials, processing their materials and making them into new products. Okay, recycling, because most of the time after the use, okay, we keep the wastage in our dustbin. Okay, so we are not using them. But if we follow the recycling, then we can reuse them. For example, we have the water bottle, and after its use, we keep the water bottles in the dustbin. Instead, we can cut the water bottle and can make the garden through the water bottle. So that is possible. Recycling is one of the three essential components of environmentally responsible consumer behavior, that is reduce, reuse, and recycle, more commonly known as the three Rs. The first R, reduce, consisting of slowing the pace of consumption and using only what is necessary. When it comes to water, electricity, and consumer goods. The second R is reuse, which entails finding new uses for discarded materials. While the third R, recycle, involves separating material that would otherwise be discarded and physically or chemically transforming it into a new product. New recycling process involves breaking down the old items and producing the new products. This helps in the reduction of wastage of materials, which has the potential to be used again and trim the consumption of fresh raw materials and other associated benefits of reduced cost, energy, pollution, and so on. When we recycle, used materials are converted into new product, reducing the need to consume natural resources. If used materials are not recycled, new products are made by extracting fresh raw material from the earth through mining and forestry. Recycling helps conserve important raw materials and protects natural habitats for the future. Using recycled materials in the manufacturing process uses considerably less energy than that required for producing new products from the raw materials. Even when comparing all associated costs, including including transport, etc. Plus, there are extra energy savings because more energy is required to extract, refine, transport, and process raw materials ready for industry compared with providing industry ready materials. Recycling reduces the need for extracting, that is, mining, quarrying, and logging, refining, and processing raw materials, all of which create substantial air and water pollution. As recycling saves energy, it also reduces greenhouse gas emission, which helps to tackle climate change. When we recycle, recyclable materials are reprocessed into new products, and as a result, the amount of rubbish sent to landfill sites reduces. So this is about the recycling. Now I am coming to the environmental safety. It refers to the extent a person uses the practices, policies, and procedures that ensure one's well-being and safely in their immediate environment. Environmental safety is the practice of policies and procedures that ensure that a surrounding environment, including work areas, laboratories, or facilities, is free of dangers that could cause harm to a person working in those areas. So, after recycling, we learned the environmental safety. Perceived control. It refers to the level one can determine his own behavior to bring about favorable outcomes in the environment. Social support. It refers to the extent of availability and assistance from other people to help in the improvement of the environment. Environmental reductionism. It refers to reducing the actions that are harmful to the environment. Environmental sensitivity. It refers to the extent of an individual's sensitivity to being influenced and or affected by phenomena present in one's daily external environment. Environmental sensitivity has been defined as the empathetic perception of an ecological system to the environment, as well as the response to the serious impact and danger caused by bad environmental changes. So, environmental sensitivity describes the ability of an individual to perceive and process information about their environment. It is a fundamental and basic trait found in many organisms and is crucial because it enables an individual to adapt to different environmental conditions. Now I'm coming to the reuse. Reuse refers to the extent an individual uses an object or resource again for either the same purpose or another purpose without changing the object structure in any significant way. That means in case of the recycle, we can change the object structure. But in case of the reuse, we are not changing the object structure. Next is conservation. It refers to the practice of protecting, preserving, and managing the natural world to prevent it from collapsing as a result of human activities. It is the act of protecting Earth's natural resources for current and future generations. The term conservation is an ambiguous one and has had different meanings to different people. The ambiguity of the term conservation also derives from its having two roots, one in resource management and the other in natural history. The concern with resource management, which considered that biological resources had to be managed in such a way that was not wasteful and ensured that they did not become exhausted or extinct. Plant conservation. It refers to activities which aim to prevent plants from becoming extinct. Direct conservation of wild plant populations, collections of rare plants, recovery and restoration of gardens, and invasive species control. It is part of an applied science called conservation biology, specifically focusing on planets, plants. Next is green buying. Green purchase behavior refers to the purchase of environmentally friendly products or sustainable products that are recyclable, beneficial, and sensitive responsive to the environment and helps in social change while being responsible towards society. Next is wildlife conservation. It refers to the practice of protecting wild species and their habitats in order to maintain healthy wildlife. Waste management. It refers to all the activities that are required to manage waste from the point of collecting the waste to monitoring, discarding, destroying, processing, recycling, reusing, or controlling waste. Civic action. It refers to any individual or group action that is not dependent on monetary exchange. Water conservation. It refers to the strategies and activities to sustainably manage the natural resource of fresh water to protect the hydrosphere and to meet the current and future human demand for water resources. দেখো ডেটা কিভাবে কালেকশন করেছিলাম। Initially, college principals or heads of the department of different colleges were contacted for collection of data. Data were collected from 214 college students, male 92, female 121, from urban and suburban cities in West Bengal through mailed questionnaire. So here I have সরি, একটা ফোন এসে গেছিল, একটু গেল। তো এখানে ডেটা কালেকশন করা হয়েছিল 214 কলেজ স্টুডেন্টস, মেল 92, ফিমেল 121, from urban and suburban cities in West Bengal through mail questionnaires. Table 1 represents the demographic characteristics. এখানে দেখো টুলস থাকবে, কনসেন্ট ফর্ম নিয়েছি, তারপর জেনারেল ইনফরমেশন শিডিউল, that data I collected, scale construction, pro environmental attitude, এটা 5-point Likert type scale ছিল। Initially the scale consisted of 50 items, but 6 items were removed following the Thurstone and Chips criteria. The 8 domains were recycling, environmental safety, perceived control, social support, environmental reductionism, environmental sensitivity, reuse and conservation. All the domains of the pro-environmental attitude scale possess moderate to high reliability. Irrespective of the domain-wise differences, the Cronbach's alpha for the entire scale was very high, 0.94. This might have been due to the high inter-domain correlations. এরপরে হলো the pro-environmental behavior. Initially, the scale consisted of 33 items, but 3 items were removed. And the 6 domains were plant conservation, green buying, wildlife conservation, waste management, civic action, and water conservation. Procedure: since the study was undertaken in the lockdown period due to the COVID-19 pandemic, manual data collection was not possible. So I collected data through the Google form. Consent form I have taken from the participants. এখানে দেখতে পাচ্ছ যে ছেলে এবং মেয়ে দুজনের মধ্যে মেয়েরা একটু বেশি 57% আর এরা 43। এডুকেশনাল স্ট্যাটাস মেজরিটি হচ্ছে আন্ডার গ্রাজুয়েট, পোস্ট গ্রাজুয়েট খুব কম। ফিল্ড অফ স্পেশালাইজেশন ফিজিক্যাল সায়েন্স অ্যান্ড আদার্স, সেইগুলোই একটু বেশি আছে। এনভায়রনমেন্টাল সায়েন্স থাকছে তোমার 21%, physical science 31%, life science 8.9, psychology 15, others হচ্ছে 22 or 23%. এরা হলো ইনস্টিটিউট লোকেশন, আরবান ছিল 35%, সাবাবস ছিল 65। So we collected data from Chandanagar, Medinipur, North 24 Pargona, South 24 Pargona, and this is the distribution, frequency distribution. ये चंदननगर कॉलेज, बर्धमान यूनिवर्सिटी. This is the item-wise best fit line on recycling. 7 items ছিল। প্রত্যেকটা আইটেম কতটা তার ডোমেন ওয়াইজ যে স্কোরটা আছে তাকে কতটা রিলেট করেছে সেইটা তুমি এখানে দেখতে পাচ্ছ। এরকম প্রত্যেকটাই দেখতে পাবে। এগুলো আর্ট স্টুডিও দিয়ে মনে হয় করা। এখানে একটা আইটেম দেখলেই বুঝতে পারবে রিসাইক্লিং এর ক্ষেত্রে খুব বেশি কোরিলেট করেছে আই আপসাইকেল ওল্ড প্রোডাক্টস ইনটু নিউ অ্যান্ড ইউজফুল আইটেমস। এটা দেখো তোমার 0.55। আচ্ছা, কোরিলেশন সবচেয়ে বেশি যেটা হয়েছে রিসাইক্লিং এ সেটা হচ্ছে আই বিলিভ রিসাইক্লিং রিডিউসেস দ্য কনজাম্পশন অফ নিউ র মেটেরিয়ালস। এটা 0.69 হয়েছে। আবার একটা এটা দেখতে পারো, আই বিলিভ রিসাইক্লিং প্রমোট সাস্টেনেবল লিভিং। এটাও অনেক হাই বেরিয়েছে। সিমিলারলি এনভায়রনমেন্টাল সেফটিতে দেখতে পারো সবচেয়ে বেশি কোরিলেশন পাওয়া গেছে আই ফিল policies should be put in place to increase the environmental safety. Perceived control-এ বেশি কোরিলেশন পাওয়া গেছে এটাতে I believe our cumulative efforts can reduce global warming. সোশ্যাল সাপোর্টে দেখতে পারো সবচেয়ে বেশি কোরিলেট করেছে SS3, that is creating nature clubs can help generate awareness about environmental issues. নেচার ক্লাবের উপরে জোর দেওয়া হচ্ছে। এখানেও আছে I believe in social support of environment protection through the local clubs and NGO. রিইউজের ক্ষেত্রে দেখতে পারো সবচেয়ে বেশি কোরিলেট করেছে I look for new ways to reuse old products. কনজারভেশনে দেখতে পারো conservation can help create a greener planet for the future. সুতরাং এই কোরিলেশন কোএফিসিয়েন্ট থেকে তুমি অনেকটা বুঝতে পারবে। এখানে দেখো ডোমেন ওয়াইজ কনভেক্স আলফা সেটা দেখাচ্ছে আর দেখাচ্ছে ইন্টার ডোমেন কোরিলেশন ভ্যালুস অন প্রো এনভায়রনমেন্টাল অ্যাটিটিউড। এই কোরিলেশন গুলো খুব সিগনিফিকেন্ট হয়েছে সেটাও দেখাচ্ছে। আলফাটা সবচেয়ে বেশি হয়েছে রিসাইক্লিং এ আর হচ্ছে কনজারভেশনে। এগুলো তো আগেই বলেছি, এগুলো দেখিয়ে নিও। এটা হলো প্রো এনভায়রনমেন্টাল বিহেভিয়ার। ওটাই যেরকম আইটেম গুলো ছিল এখানে আইটেম গুলো নেই, ডোমেন গুলো আছে। ধরো প্ল্যান কনজারভেশনে PL3 সেটা সবচেয়ে বেশি কোরিলেট করেছে। গ্রিন বাইংটা ওরা ভালো করে বুঝতে পেরেছে, তাই 0.8 এসেছে। প্ল্যান কনজারভেশন 0.72 বেরিয়েছে। যতগুলো প্রো এনভায়রনমেন্টাল অ্যাটিটিউড ডোমেন ছিল তাদের মিন, এসডি, মিডিয়ান, ডেভিয়েটেড মিডিয়ান, স্কিউনেস, কার্টোসিস সব এখানে আছে। তারপরে হায়ারার্কিক্যাল ক্লাস্টার অ্যানালিসিস করা হয়েছিল, তাতে পাওয়া যাচ্ছে রিসাইক্লিং এবং রিইউজ এরা কাছাকাছি আসছে। এবং ওই ক্লাস্টারে কাছাকাছি আসছে পারসিভ কন্ট্রোল, সোশ্যাল সাপোর্ট অ্যান্ড কনজারভেশন। ওই যে দুটো ক্লাস্টার পাওয়া গেল, সেই ক্লাস্টার গুলোর উপর ভিত্তি করে এখানে বক্স প্লট করা হয়েছে। ফাইনালি কে মিনস ক্লাস্টার অ্যানালিসিস করা হয়েছিল, করে 3টে ক্লাস্টার পাওয়া গিয়েছিল। এগুলো তাদের বক্স প্লট। এটা প্রো এনভায়রনমেন্টাল বিহেভিয়ারের ক্লাস্টারিং। এখানেও 3টে ক্লাস্টার পাওয়া গেছে। ডোমেন ওয়াইজ গুলোর মধ্যে কোরিলেশন দেখা হয়েছে। লাস্টে প্রো এনভায়রনমেন্টাল বিহেভিয়ার আর প্রো এনভায়রনমেন্টাল অ্যাটিটিউড, এই দুটোর মধ্যে কোরিলেশন দেখবার চেষ্টা করা হয়েছিল। So summary findings in this study, 214 college students of different disciplines participated. Among them, 92 were male and 121 were female. Due to the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, data were collected using Google Form. Scales to measure pro-environmental attitude and behavior were constructed and they were found to be reliable. Cronbach's alpha of the pro-environmental attitude scale, containing 44 items, measuring attitude towards 8 domains, depicts a very high reliability coefficient. Recycling, environmental safety, environmental reductionism, social support, reuse, and conservation domains depicted high reliability for the pro-environmental attitude scale. Okay, so if you want to make any conservation, then you have to pay much attention to these variables. এটা ইনফর্ম কনসেপ্ট ফর্ম, এটা জেনারেল ইনফরমেশন শিডিউল। তারপর হচ্ছে এখানে কোশ্চেনিয়ারটা আছে, প্রো এনভায়রনমেন্টাল অ্যাটিটিউড, প্রো এনভায়রনমেন্টাল বিহেভিয়ার। এগুলো হচ্ছে তোমার কম্পিউটার প্রোগ্রামিং। তখন আর্ট স্টুডিওটা নিয়ে কাজ করতাম, সো দ্যাট ইজ অল অ্যাবাউট দ্য আর্ট স্টুডিও। This is all about today's class. So now you have understood the pro-environmental attitude, pro-environmental behavior. Number two, you have understood the domains of pro-environmental attitude and pro-environmental behavior. And you have understood how to do the data analysis for the pro-environmental attitude and behavior. শ্যামাশ্রী, রিমা, সোমা, তোমাদের কিছু মনে প্রশ্ন আসছে?
স্যার বুঝতে পেরেছি।
ওকে,
এবার আমি যতটুকু শুনেছি প্রশ্ন নেই, পরে আগেরটা আমি শুনে নেব।
হ্যাঁ ওটা শুনে নেবে, তবে জিনিসটা বুঝতে পারবে।
হ্যাঁ স্যার বুঝতে পেরেছি।
আচ্ছা, আর এই রোববার আমাদের একটা ভালো প্রোগ্রাম আছে বিকশিত ভারত নিয়ে। ওকে, তোমরা অবশ্যই অ্যাটেন্ড করবে। আমরা এনসিইআরটি থেকে প্রফেসর আসছেন, তারপরে রাজস্থান থেকে প্রফেসর আসবেন, আর আমাদের যিনি একাডেমিক কাউন্সিলের সেক্রেটারি আছেন ম্যাডাম ঋতুপর্ণা বসাক দাশগুপ্ত, তিনি আমাদের স্পিকার, তিনি বলার সবকিছু বলবেন, আর তোমরা এগুলোকে ফলো করো। আর শ্যামাশ্রীকে বলা আছে রবীন্দ্রসঙ্গীত গাইতে। রিমা তুমিও গাইতে পারো যদি মনে করো, একটু প্ল্যান করে আমাকে যদি বলে দাও আমার ভালো হয়।
ঠিক আছে স্যার, কটা থেকে হবে?
10টা থেকে শুরু হবে।
আচ্ছা
কখন কার গানটা পড়বে এক্ষুনি বলতে পারছি না, পরে বলতে পারবো। ওকে,
আচ্ছা স্যার।
ভালো লাগবে, ভালো প্রোগ্রাম হবে, ভালো লাগবে। ঠিক আছে, বন্ধ করে দিচ্ছি।
হ্যাঁ স্যার, গুড নাইট।
গুড নাইট,
স্যার।
গুড নাইট।
গুড নাইট স্যার।
হ্যাঁ, গুড নাইট।
গুড নাইট সকলকে। হ্যাঁ।